Hey everyone, it's Kristen. I know that I haven't made a YouTube video in a really long time, mostly because I haven't had a lot of time. Obviously, that's always my excuse, but I actually just PCS'd to my first duty base in Ellsworth, South Dakota, and at first I was very disappointed that I was going to Ellsworth, but now that I'm here, this place is absolutely beautiful. Um, but the topic of today's YouTube video is the Air Force fractured my hips. so, um, I told you in one of my last videos that I had fractured both my hips while in basic training. Well, a lot of girls, not a lot of girls, a lot of people in general during basic don't get the nutrition that they need just because it's a stressful environment, just because you're go, go, go all the time. You don't get the nutrition that you need for your body, so a lot of women actually end up, especially women, end up with stress fractures or some type of fracture that happens in their bones because they aren't getting the calcium or the vitamin D that they need while in basic. Some men are the same way. It just, for some reason, women don't get the nutrition they need during basic. The men don't either, but for some reason it's worse for women. My boyfriend, while actually in basic, he got stress fractures in his ankles, or it was like the top of his foot, when he was running. So my story particularly, I was in the third week of basic training, and every other day we would alternate run days with strength days. And during our run days, we would either do road runs where we would run in formation with our MTI, and that was always really fun. That was much easier too because you didn't feel like you were going as far and you had a group of people running and pushing you to do your best. So that was always fun. And then one of the other runs is the 26-minute run that you do in the mornings. And run days they were like my break. I loved running, I was good at it, and I was always beating my score before. So I loved running, and it was one of my favorite things to do. So about the end of the third week, it was a Friday. I remember specifically when it happened. I was running with one of the girls, Griffin. She and I kind of pushed each other. We were at the same level when we were running in basic, so we kind of pushed each other to better ourselves and run a little bit better. So I was running with her, and it was just a regular run day. We were just running, and it got to the very last little bit, and I stepped down, and I didn't hear anything, but I felt a sharp pain go up my back, and it was like the side of my back. So I just thought, oh man, I just pulled or strained some type of muscle that hurt super bad. So I started immediately limping, and it wasn't like I was trying to be noticed, I guess, but I was in a lot of pain. And so my MTI looked at me and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine, don't worry about it." I was trying to shake off all the pain that I had because a lot of people do this. You get sent to med hold if you whimper about anything. So I was in the end of the third week. I was about to start my fourth week, and I was not going to tell them anything was wrong. I was not about to be sent to med hold and stay there for months. So I sucked up the pain, and I was just like, it's just a pulled muscle. I'll be fine. So one of the other girls in my flight, I would trade her my protein bars for her prescription strength ibuprofen because we're not allowed to have ibuprofen in basic. And she had ibuprofen from a stress fracture she had in the very first week. And she didn't need it anymore. So I was always going to her for ibuprofen. And looking back, I feel so bad that I took her ibuprofen, but she's one of the reasons I made it through basic without getting sent to med hold. So I thank her every day. But a lot of people do that. They hide their pain so they won't get sent to med hold, and it ends up hurting them in the long run. Me, for example. I went to basic August 23rd. It's March 6th today. I'm still having trouble with my hips. It's not getting any better. And once I like once I pulled my first hip in, or fractured my first hip in basic, during the 3rd week, I kept going on it, and I was in so much pain, but I just kept pushing myself. I really found a strength in myself that I never knew I had in basic, which was really cool, but also I was being really dumb by not going to the doctor and fixing what was broken. So and at this time I didn't know that I had a fractured hip. So it started to get a little bit better in basic. I wasn't feeling as much pain every day, so I decided to finish out, just not tell anybody that I was hurt. So 6-week PT eval comes, and it's our last evaluation, and I was going to push myself. And I was doing great. I ran the whole thing, and I sprinted the last lap. I was just like, I'm gonna get my time down below 13 minutes because I had been struggling with running after I hurt my hip the first time. So I was happy just getting under 13 minutes, even though I was running it faster before. And then I stopped after I finished my PT test, my final PT test. I fractured my other hip. And I knew that instant what had went on. I knew something was just wrong in my hip. And the sad thing is, it was my other hip. So at that point, I couldn't even walk. So I went to the Victory Clinic, or not the Victory Clinic, that's actually at Fort Leonard Wood. I went to a clinic at Basic and got checked out, and they immediately put me on crutches. And they were like, let's try it out for 4 days. This was the end of the 6th week, so I was getting ready to graduate. And they put me on crutches. I was terrified. I went back to the dorms and I cried. I was so upset. I did not want to go get sent to med hold right before I graduated. So I sucked it up and I gave them the crutches back 4 days later, and I was like, I'm fine, I'm good. And I was in so much pain. Both my hips were killing me. When my parents came at graduation, they knew how much pain I was in. But I fought through it, I got through everything, and was finally able to graduate and get through Airman's Week and get to tech school, where I was able to go to the doctor and get checked out. When I went to the doctor at Fort Leonard Wood, they did x-rays, and they were like, nothing's wrong with you, it must be muscular. We can't find anything on the scans, you're good to go. So they kept telling me I was fine, but I knew something was wrong, obviously, that I wasn't fixed. I was still hurting. I was in so much pain. And I finally went back. They put me on a waiver just to see how I felt, but I finally went back, and I told them, I was like, I need another scan or something. I need you to tell me what's wrong with me because I'm not healing. So they decided to give me an MRI. They don't give MRIs a lot because they're so costly, and the military, they'll do anything to cut pay, so or cut cost. And so they sent me to get an MRI, and after we got the results in, I went to the doctor, and he looked at me and he said, how are you still walking? And I just looked at him and I was like, what do you mean? And he said, you have 2 grade 4 stress fractures, which means there's an actual crack in my hip, in the sacrum part of my hip, and I had a muscle strain on my in my quad. So I toughed through a lot. Found out that I have a really high pain tolerance, but I was put on crutches, and all through tech school was on a waiver. I didn't PT at all, and it really broke my heart because I love working out. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I could tell that I've gained weight back just because I haven't been working out and taking care of myself like I should. So along with not being able to work out, I've kind of gotten down on myself, and kind of got scared when I got to my first base, when I would start PTing again, how it would turn out. And so I started PTing when I got to Ellsworth, and I was doing fine. I had thought I had healed and everything was going good, but I started to ache. It would ache at night. It wouldn't go away. And so I went to the doctor last week, and they told me that no PT for another 3 months. They're going to do another MRI and a bone density test to see if I am going to heal. And if I am not going to heal, then it's a potential medical discharge. And that would absolutely break my heart. For everything that I've been through and all the things that I've achieved in the Air Force, I really don't want that to happen. I'm really hoping that the results, because I had my scans today, I'm really hoping the results come back that I'm fine and that it is just going to take some time to heal. So everybody, if you believe in God, pray for me. If you don't, send good vibes. I would really appreciate it. I'm kind of scared right now, nervous for my results. I just got to my first base and I'm loving it, meeting some great people, loving my work, and I just need some good luck. So if everybody could put some positive comments down in the comment box, that would be great. And if you have any questions, I'll try to give you an update video on my results and everything and what's going on. And so everybody have a great week, and if you have any comments, have any questions, comment them below. Follow me on Instagram, Kristen Clark 12. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.